right? Here's the question I got, and I guess I can go. Let me see if I can. I did a video, a report on this in October. Did another one in November, but some of these YouTubes are still getting questions, and so I got a question yesterday from one. Let's see if we can go here. Okay, oh. Let's see if we can go here. So, okay, so this was the report that I did, a little bit different of a thumbnail, and the question came up again. This was yesterday. So, am I understanding that if your account isn't a business account, then the $600 cap in tracking doesn't apply? Now, this is what everybody keeps telling you. When I responded to that question, and I told them, no, that's not how it works. And so today I spent some time going through news reports and IRS records and government records about how it does work, and thought you'd get a very good, clear response. Because here's the question, and it's just, if someone sends me money and it's not for business, well, that doesn't get tracked, right? They won't have to report that. What if everything I do on my Venmo account, none of it's business, and it goes over $600? I won't get a 1099, right? And the answer is, yeah, you will. You'll get a 1099 because that's what it's for. That's the purpose of this reporting, is to find people who won't otherwise report it. And so if all I had to do is say, well, this is in a business account, you won't report it, that would defeat the whole purpose of why they're doing this. And so I tried very hard to find news reports or something that would make it very clear. I don't want to pat myself on the back or anything, but let me go over here one more time. And he did explain it, and he said, finally, someone who has articulated this clearly. Thank you. And the fact is that nobody's really articulating it very clearly. They go around in circles when you ask this question, and they'll tell you things like, it doesn't change any of the tax rules. Well, that's true. It doesn't change the tax rules. Nobody said that it did. But that's, and so anybody tells you that. So here's a story, and this one was from September, so before the law, right? But Cashapp won't have new taxes in 2022, despite claims. Again, this says there are no new taxes. Well, that's true. It didn't put a tax on Cashapps. It simply said that they have to report what you put through the Cashapp, so the IRS makes sure that you are paying taxes on that. And I'm gonna go through this again, because I think this, and none of this. Okay, with the IRS, the 16th Amendment says that the government can put a tax on income, and here's what the language says: from whatever source, no matter where it comes from, it's taxable. But it's always been that case. It's always been taxable, and it's taxable now. So this Cashapp rule that we keep hearing about, it doesn't change that. It's still taxable. It was taxable before. It's taxable now. The thing is that the IRS is looking to make sure that you are reporting it all. That's the long and short of it all. And so when you ask that question, how is it going to affect me? They go in circles by trying to tell you that it won't affect you. But of course it will if you use these apps. Of course it will, because you're going to get a 1099. And people say, well, Attorney Leahy, what is a 1099? So I wanted to, let me see, I got this. I think this is it. What is this? Requirements for furnishing electronic information. A guide to information returns. So a 1099 is called an information return. It's a return to the IRS from an organization, now Cashapps, and other third-party vendors, who report this information, what went through your account, to the IRS. So you have to learn to talk this governmentese to understand what they're talking about. But they don't want you to understand what they're talking about. Here, let me also go to this. This. This is the instructions for a 1099-K. A 1099-K is the information return that you're going to receive if you have more than $600 in total exchanges through you're paid more than $600 with a Cashapp. Then you'll get this 1099-K. And so you can read, here's the instructions. This is for the company that's filling it out and who they have to send it to and what information they must include in that. And so here's the specific instructions. So let me read this. A payment settlement, let's put it towards the top of the page here. Specific instructions. A payment settlement entity, that's Cashapp, Venmo, must file Form 1099-K, payment card and third-party network transactions for payments made in settlement of reportable payment transactions for each calendar year. A PSE makes it a payment in settlement of a reportable payment transaction, that is, any payment card or third-party network transaction, if, let's go to the top of the page, if the PSE submits the instruction to transfer funds to the account of a participating payee to settle the reportable payment transaction. Okay, so then that begs the question, what is a reportable payment transaction? So many people are convinced that a reportable payment transaction doesn't include my aunt giving me money, doesn't include my friend paying for dinner, doesn't include me getting money for whatever from anybody, doesn't include that. It's not a reportable payment transaction. Okay, so let's find out what a reportable payment transaction is. Well, where can you find that out, Attorney Leahy? Well, you can find that out with the IRS. How do they define it? Let me see if I can find it here. I have it. Okay, so let's see if this is it. Okay, so what is you receive a? Okay, so here it is. What does my Form 1099 report to me? A Form 1099-K includes the gross amount of all reportable payment transactions. You will receive a Form 1099-K from each payment settlement entity, Venmo, PayPal, the like, from which you received payments in settlement of reportable payment transactions. There's that word again, or that phrase. What is a reportable payment transaction? So they're all telling you, well, that's not a reportable payment transaction, so you're not going to get a 1099-K. Well, here it is. A reportable payment transaction is defined as a payment card transaction or a third-party network transaction. So it doesn't say business, doesn't say for only business purposes, doesn't say that. A payment card transaction, any transaction. Payment card transaction means any transaction in which a payment card or any account number or other identifying data associated with the payment card is accepted as payment. Third-party transaction means, now this third party would be the Cashapp, Venmo, because remember, before 2022, now here's the rule before then. This is what they're going to put the rule before then. Third-party network transaction means any transaction that is settled through a third-party payment network, but only after the total amount of such transactions exceeds $20,000 and the aggregate number of such transactions exceeds 200. That was the rule in 2021. So now they have it underneath here. Note, a minimum reporting thresholds of greater than $20,000 and more than 200 transactions apply only to payments settled through a third-party network. There is no threshold for payment card transactions. Okay, so they don't have the new one, right? They don't have. This was last year's.